Are we good to get started?
You're good.
Great, thank you. All right, good evening and welcome to the November 5th meeting of the Goffstown Budget Committee. I will start off with a roll call. Skylar.
Present and alone.
Bill Cordis.
Present, not alone.
Greg Flegel.
I'm present and alone.
Joe Alexander.
I'm present. My roommates are in the room as well.
Thank you. Eileen is not here. Jeff O'Brien.
Present and alone.
Fred Platt.
Present and alone.
Dennis is not here. I am here. Spencer is not on the call. Richard Manza said he would be absent. Richard Fletcher is not on. Jared Talbot.
Present with fellow member Bill.
And Selectman Lemay.
Present, alone in the room.
Great. Thank you. Scott, if you'd like to read off the notice.
Sure. Consistent with Governor Sununu's Executive Order 2020-04, Emergency Order Number 12, the Budget Committee of the Town of Goffstown will be attending the meeting remotely. The public can access this remote meeting by either viewing it via a live stream link on the Goffstown television website or by calling into a telephone conference bridge line at area code 603-766-5646, then enter participant code 685562. If you wish to make a public comment at the beginning of the meeting, please wait the chair's instructions and then press *9. Your microphone will then be unmuted and you'll be directed to state your name and address prior to making a public comment. That's it.
All right. Thank you very much. And for the sake of minutes, I'll just remind folks one more time, if you're making a comment, to please state your name before you do that. All right. So we'll kick back off. Start where we stopped last time on page 22 here in the proposed budget with actuals. So we'll start, unless anyone have a question before we get.
Now we're going to be doing Maple Avenue Elementary School.
Great, thank you. Stopping point on page 37, I believe, and depending on how we feel, possibly getting to page 47. So we'll kind of see how long this takes us and feel it out here. So without further ado, page 22.
612 that increased by 5, and the cost of the copies, but there was a reduction of.
Question.
Great, and that was for
That when we're
great. On 22, we'll move to
Professional.
I'd be happy to take that, Mr. Chair. Our actual student, Glen Lake, if there are students who require paraprofessional support, we add them. And if there are students that move up to Mountain View in 5th grade, the positions would move with them. If students, the number of paraprofessionals in locations changes and moves based on student needs. But in this particular body of new positions that will be in compliance.
So I'm looking at the same need as many paras.
I might argue that we find actually kind of the opposite is the case, Joe. Sorry, this is Brian Bulkey again. Because when we have students that are home, we have to provide the hybrid model. We still have much times that we have to assign them some coverage responsible to staff our building.
further questions. Move on.
Fred Platt, 657.
This off, and then Scott, the local as the employees in Goffstown,
700
thing that it would be
if I could, this is Scott Gross, if I could also add, so I'll call our staffing. We see that we took a para at the high school. You'll see a reduction in that para cost at the high school, and particular line also there are cases that go the exact opposite, where we have a teacher who might have been at the higher end of the pay scale. We bring in someone at the lower end of the pay scale.
That going through the impact of. No questions.
Hearing none, we'll move on to page 26. page 26, questions, comments?
A function which is 2130 into the budget for something that
Six, generally, of course, considerable.
particular function I'll just is a district, for that line.
But
Unless any-
A mess.
And of the
You'll see, we were, and this person to things, $2,000 of reduction. So, this is a very fortuitous thing for us to have, in terms of someone with that skill set. And I also know that, John, is his name, and I know the town has, asked for him to help them to look at a system or two on the town side. So just having someone like him is, just been very, very beneficial for the school district.
Awesome. Any other questions on 29 here? All right, hearing none, we'll move on. Page 30. Just a
I
few
have a
lines
question
there.
on this page.
Yep, go Joe.
So I'm looking at lines 834, 835. I understand why you put number 1 in a budget line, and that's so that you can eventually move money for it. Can you tell me why you put it in those lines?
Because one of them is coming out. So, and the school board already removed line 835, the dollar in that one, just so you know.
Okay. And is that because that can be used by a capital reserve fund?
The reason why we do that, this is Joe and the other budget committee members, is that, you see that function line 4,600, right where my cursor is? If we ever had to do a project, I need a dollar in that line. If we ever had to do a budget type transfer, or if we had to spend money out of it. So it's just a Department of Revenue Administration compliance thing where you'll see dollars in some of these function lines.
So you're telling me that the school board zeroed out line 835?
Yes, it's a zero in that line. Yes.
Okay.
They
But the
already did
reason you
that.
put a dollar in is because then you could, because the school board has the authority to shift the money from one
Right.
to another. And if there's a dollar in, you could shift in. If there's no dollar in, you can't shift in.
Right.
No, I understand that. I guess what I'm saying is that I'm hesitant that the school board would be able to shift in money to a line that we don't know how much money is going into a line. So that's why I would want to zero it out if it wasn't done already.
Great.
Yeah,
And that was Fred
there-
who
So
chimed in on there.
there's still a dollar in the 834 line, but there is no longer a dollar in the 835 line.
and this is Jared.
Yep, go.
Scott, could you help Joe and the team understand what would fall under the other professional service that we have the dollar listed?
I actually had no qualms with the dollar under that line because I figured that would be for
Yeah,
like
so the budget.
speech or language or
That being the case, then Joe and others, that's already taken care of the school board, and it was Mr. Talbot who had suggested, so it's already been removed.
thank you.
All right. Any other questions on the lines there? Just a few of them. All right, hearing none, we'll move on to 31.
Okay, this is new location. Is it Bartlett? What is it?
Now, this one is your Glen Lake. So location 103 is Glen Lake, which is your kindergarten and your preschool.
It would be helpful if you put GL in, some, rather than a number, some sort of acronym so people could identify it more readily.
I don't know if you can see me, but I provided you in your packets a code list so that it would, as a reference sheet. It's in blue.
I'm gonna have to go find it.
Okay. If you don't have it, just let me know, Fred. Email me and I'll send you another one.
Okay.
All right, page 31.
But my point stands, if it were right in the spreadsheet. They might be more user-friendly.
Questions or comments here?
Yeah, I'm looking at line, this is Joe. I'm looking at line 853 under equipment rental. Can you talk to me about that one?
Hold on.
That's our copier and laptop lease. So we have
So could you,
copy machines that we lease, and we also lease laptop computers for the teachers.
so that's a new item? You never leased it before?
Mm-hmm.
No, we did. Scott, how come?
Yeah, I don't know why it's not. Oh, I know why. If you go down below, Brian, it was in the wrong spot. So if you go down to, hold on,
Next line down.
next line down, you'll see that we just moved. It was in the wrong code, Brian, so we had to put it in the right code.
Okay, so line 854 should read 9,500 with a $100 request.
Yeah, so yes, exactly. So you'll see that it was in program 16. It's in program 16 where it should be, and it was in program 18. So 16 is our technical line. So when our IT director reviewed the budget, he's like, hey, listen, I'm responsible for this budget line. So we put it in the appropriate spot. So what you're seeing is a net increase of $100.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
And you may see that, Joe, in a few other schools as well. Steve made those corrections.
Cole,
Yep, Selectman Lemay.
on line 859, we have $4,240 up to $11,650. What's the jump for that, or what's the reasoning?
I can address that one. This is Scott Gross. The same question came up at the school board. And what happened was, if you'll see here in the current year's budget, Selectman Lemay, it's $11,650.
Yep.
And that is because our student population increased dramatically over the last couple of years. And what you'll note here on the 4240 was that monies were spent, were encumbered. So Principal Stoyle did not buy supplies in order to purchase things for the kindergarten that is going to be the portable classroom that's going to be open starting Monday.
Okay.
So she didn't spend in that area to buy things like bulletin boards and other things. So that's kind of what happened there, but it was done this year.
Okay, thank you, Scott.
Okay.
All set, Cole.
Great, thank you. Further questions on 31?
I did find my blue sheet.
Great. 32? Question? Yep, was that someone starting? No, just static there. All right. Questions or comments on 32? All right, hearing none, we'll move on. 33?
Question, Cole.
Yep, Selectman Lemay.
Line 896, general question as we've been going through the budget. This is under non-capital software. In all of those lines, Scott or Brian, whoever, there's been a substantial jump. Is that because we're buying more programs or newer programs for the kids or updating? How are we doing that?
Brian, you want me to take that one or?
Well, I think the answer is looking at that program number. So I think that there are things that should have been in that program 18 that in the past were perhaps somewhere else. Scott, is that your?
Yeah, to a certain
Concurrence.
degree, that's correct, but we also, in that line, we have software for speech needs. Symbol Sticks was another one, Brian, a unique subscription. So part of it also is with the software, because we are, remote, we've also tried to address it in that respect. So it is software that is based upon, the needs of the students. And
Yeah, the only piece I might add to that, Scott, is this is a special education line. So year to year, the unique software needs that individual students may have changes. So if we have a new group or a new individual student that requires some type of special that we're able
All right,
on $50 adapt from the
No more.
Just for the point.
to in the 9% move in a sub, or if we had
It'll be a-
that there
Teacher retirement might take.
it cost and so it's new, it's not part.
Right.
1018,
Jared, teleportable, electric,
Pages.
Minutes.
money that's associated, we don't have.
This is just in 30.
All I said, make this
Row.
Joe, second from Greg. Skylar, Joe,
28, which is the other.
Scott,
and anything that
there's 102 discussion there. 57, I think.
so right now,
Why is it at 80?
increases.
I see the from another line.
yeah, look at the line direct cursor on it. It's the network printers more efficient. Print. Number one, software. One of the we are middle.
seen on our assessment area trying to give Richmond and supplement.
This is Scott to make it happen.
Line 10, like, does that do?
And 19 here.
Line.
This math online.
Hey Scott, this is Jeff O'Brien.
Yep.
Explain the your note.
I think what we're looking at here in that maintenance